Who in the APC that is not corrupt? Look at their cabinet.
You were coming from there.
So, I am one.
So you're corrupt?
Maybe.
If he's a corrupt man, I think that's it's quite obvious why he actually left and actually joined the corrupt party, so that he can actually so that he can actually engage in such things.
Do you know that
what we're doing within the APC is improving the economy, ensuring that more Nigerians are actually out of poverty, taking them out of poverty, and that's why we've actually put in the social investment programs, and that's what we'll be doing without this distraction from the opposition party. I mean, my advice to the opposition party, this particular opposition party, will be for them to collapse, like my colleague said the other day, collapse, disband, and act. I've never been a member of the PDP. I will never be a member of the PDP. And I have never been a member of the PDP. Will never be a member of the PDP because I don't think the PDP is a political party. I think it's just a thieving party to actually deceive Nigerians. It's a big scam, and I believe that Nigerians are actually given.
Who is your national chairman?
Well,
I say, who is your national chairman?
You can actually Google that. You can actually Google that. Exactly how
the man is the head of the party.
You can actually Google
that. He has got a corruption case over his head.
You can actually Google that if you want to know the national party. If you want to know the national chairman of the party.
I don't know him.
Now,
somebody
going back to serious work
against him.
This is what this opposition party has been doing for several years. For 16 years, they were in power. It was corruption, distraction, and going about except helping the poor. And that's what we're doing. We're helping the poor, bringing more Nigerians out of poverty.
Insecurity.
Go out there.
Insecurity.
Compared to what we have at this present time.
All this is going to be in 30 seconds.
Compared to what we have at this present time. Abuja was a bombing site for the Boko Haram. They were actually...
President Tinubu, you and your wife said you were rich already. Take up some of these bills.
Right.
The same president that his son was using presidential jets, wasn't it?
I saw that video.
January, the president said, he will reduce the number of entourage. But the same president has traveled 29 times in 17 months. The vice president has traveled 17 times in 17 months. Tinubu government keeps getting fatter and fatter, and yet we get this occasional thing about cosmetic gestures, about reducing the cost of governance. Yeah. No, they are not reducing the cost of governance. I will believe that they are reducing the cost of governance when senators and the House of Reps members stop going about in long convoys, and the president comes to Lagos and he himself uses just 3 cars.
Yes, show by example.
And we don't see any long convoy.
Fantastic, fantastic, Dr. Abati. You cannot be more correct. Lead by example. Rufy.
So Dr. Abati here always tells a story of when they went to the Netherlands to make, it was Mark Rutte then, the Prime Minister of the Netherlands. I want everybody watching me out there to please check the GDP of the Netherlands. And the Prime Minister was riding a bicycle. And also, please check the GDP of Nigeria. And President Tinubu just bought a big jet for himself.
Yeah.
The first way to cut cost of governance is to cut that jet off. That plane is too big, Oji. The government has not given us in calculative cost how much it costs to fuel that jet for every trip it takes. We need to be able to get to the end of that matter. Secondly, we've talked about how bloated the cabinet is.
Yeah.
Because of the First Lady, the other day, she was telling porkies by saying that, nothing comes to our office. But we found out that it was all porkies, that over billions were allocated for her to buy cars. Also, all sorts of government shenanigans, projects and everything. Recently, we brought out a stat that says how many billion was spent on getting visas for government officials.
Yes, that's what
the true cost of government, cutting cost of government starts with President Tinubu. He needs to cost his cost.
Yes.
All the money that comes to the presidency needs to be slashed in half.
Yep.
President Tinubu, you and your wife said you were rich already. Take up some of these bills.
Right.
The same president that his son was using presidential jets, wasn't it? Well, no. I'm saying because of your own personal money, cut some of these luxurious costs. We can't afford your lifestyle. We knew you were already rich before. You had your own private jet before you came to be president of Nigeria. We're saying cut your own lifestyle. We can't afford your luxuries.
Rufai, talking about the private jet, somebody just sent me a video of the Singaporean PM, Lawrence Wong, traveling on a commercial flight after state protocols. But I mean, I know that it's going to be a huge, far-fetched idea for Nigeria for now. For using, I mean, commercial.
British PM flies British Airways.
I, a member of this house, collect basic salary of 2.5 per month, furniture allowance 7.5 million per month, newspaper allowance 1.2 million per month, wardrobe allowance 621,000 per month, recess allowance 248,000 per month, accommodation allowance 4.9 million per month, utility allowance 828,000 per month, personal assistant allowance 621,000 per month.
Yes, I want to believe that you all heard what this lawmaker said. All right, so let's do the math together. So he said his salary per month is 2.5 million naira. All right, so when you multiply 2.5 million naira by 12, that is 30 million naira. Okay, this is what he earns in 1 year. This is what a Nigerian lawmaker earns in 1 year. Then furniture allowance is 7,500,000 naira per month. That is, they ought to be changing their furnitures every month. Okay, when you multiply 7,500,000 by 12, you get 90 million naira. This is what they earn in 1 year for furniture. Then newspaper allowance is 1.2 million. All right, yes, newspaper allowance every month they are being given 1.2 million. So when you multiply 1.2 million naira by 12, you get 14,400,000. This is what a lawmaker in Nigeria earns every year for newspaper, you know, as newspaper allowance. Then we have wardrobe. Wardrobe allowance is 621,000. All right, 621,000 multiplied by 12 is 7,452,000 naira. Okay, so every month a lawmaker in Nigeria is giving 621,000, you know, for wardrobe. Then we have recess allowance, you know, 248,000. So when you multiply 248,000 by 12, you have 2,936,000 naira. So a lawmaker in Nigeria is being given 2,936,000 naira as recess allowance. Okay, we have accommodation. Every month, a lawmaker in Nigeria is being given 4,900,000 naira for accommodation. That is every month. They ought to pack out from their house and move to a new house. Then when you multiply 4,900,000 by 12, you get 58,800,000 naira. Okay, so a lawmaker in Nigeria earns 58,800,000 naira as accommodation allowance. Then we have utility. Utility here is 828,000 naira. When you multiply 828,000 naira by 12, you have 9,936,000 naira. Okay, so every month a lawmaker in Nigeria is given 828,000 naira for utility. Then we have a personal assistance allowance. That one is 621,000 naira. Multiply by 12, you have 7,452,000 naira. So when you total all this figure, you see that a lawmaker in Nigeria earns annually, the total figure a lawmaker in Nigeria earns annually is 221,016,000 naira. So annually, a lawmaker in Nigeria earns 221,016,000 naira. When you multiply by 4, it is 884,064,000 naira. But these are people that cannot pay 62,000 minimum